Peace to the world. Montaru is here. Hello all. Hi. Welcome back to another stream of the Pokemon Retrospective Ruby Nuzlocke. I am Astro Win Astro Win. Yeah. Astrobot won Game of the Year. Woo! That's exciting. I like that. I'm happy for it. I mean, that was always gonna be... That was basically my guess along with Monkey. Black Myth Wukong and Astrobot were the two. I'm just like, it's gonna be one of those two. A lot of people are just like, was it really those two? Erdtree was the very likely. I'm like, was it? Was it really, though? And then, Metaphor, it did not see happening. Balatro was not gonna happen. Balatro was not gonna happen. It would have been great if it would, but it had the same chance that Stray had in 2022? I think it was 22? That sounds right. Thanks, Nintendo. Yeah. Yeah. Nintendo gave us Nintendo invented platformers. Thank you, Nintendo. Otherwise, Astrobot would not exist if you hadn't invented platformers. I think they might... Actually, what was the first platformer? Was it Q*bert? I think it would be Q*bert. Maybe it was earlier than that. Maybe... Was Donkey Kong first? Yeah, Styler and Waldorf were pretty fun. We can get to the game right now. And then the biggest news of all, the only thing that got me like actually excited, Okami 3, it's happening. Okami 3 is real. I'm so happy. Yay. Hello. Anyway, let's fight Brendan. Ran out with my dad, so I'm not buying dolls. Anyway, it's been a while. Wanna have a battle, see who's been racing Pokemon better? Yeah, sure. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden, Evil Pac-Man, yep. Yeah, hello, King Monty, hello, Disney, hello, Twister. I am not going to lose to no Stella. Wow. Darn! I thought you would start with a whale, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm picking the perfect Pokemon for this. Yeah, Onimusha got something. New Sonic racing game is happening. Probably a couple of other things. But I'm gonna be honest, like I said, Okami 3 is the only thing that I was, like, hyped about. Everything else was fun, but it's not my real demographic for gaming. Yeah, Naughty Dogs is making a new game. People are making, even made Shadow of the Colossus are making something new, and it looks more sci-fi. A Numel? I'm just happy for Okami. I'm curious what it will be. I'm going to guess it's just from the, like, obviously the intro tells us nothing. It's the exact same like animation thing they did to pitch the Okami originally. It's just that it has a few more things that have been established in Okami. Hello, Eli. Who was that? Was that Wailmer or Grovyle? I don't know. Either way, Koth will be fine. Yeah, this is the weird thing about May and Brendan. We talked about this, like, in Emerald, but they don't use their final form of the starter, and this is the last battle we have with them. Granted, when you're first playing this, you're not supposed to know that, but, like, in retrospect, it is kind of weird that you don't ever get to see their fully evolved starter Pokemon. Jane is surprised at the Okami announcement. Yeah, no, I joke about wanting Okami 3 all the time. This was like one of the few times that I didn't make a joke about Okami 3. I was making Xenosaga jokes instead. And I'm just like, oh, of course, now's when I get Okami. As soon as I stop making the jokes. Kong's new IP being another gritty, realistic game. Still waiting on Silksong. Still waiting on Half-Life 3. But no, let's see. Balatro won Best Debut Indie and Best Indie, I believe. So good on Balatro. This thing's a bit. I had a head start on you as a trainer. I'll blow people use something I'm not the audience for, but I was this time. Yep. I plan on going home to Littleroot. Knowing how my dad is Pokedex, it's coming together pretty decently, so I should show him. What are you gonna do? Collect all the gym badges and pick the Pokemon League Challenge? Maybe I'll do that too. Anyway, hang in there. Styler and Waldorf were great. I still love... The one everybody's quoting is still probably one of the best ones, just like, hey, you see Kojima down there? Yeah, did you know he and Jeff Keighley were friends? Really? Did Kojima know that? It's so good. Statler and Waldorf are wonderful. I can't wait to watch Muppets Christmas Carol so I can see Jacob and Robert Marley. That could be another watch-along we do. Ooh, I'm tempted. Muppets Christmas Carol is still my favorite Christmas movie, so that is tempting. What do you have right now? You're the one with the experience share. Let's have Pisces in the lead then. Metaphor won 3 times. Usually Animal Style are ignored. Yeah. I'm glad that it won, but also it makes me just like, man, Xenoblade should have won a lot more awards. I.e. a award. Yeah, they have that. Yeah, they have the. They have When Love Was Gone on Disney Plus. So that, I mean, that's the one I'm gonna be doing. You think I'm gonna be doing? You think I'm not gonna hear When Love Is Gone? When love is gone, when love is gone. Now, I saw a video about, like, the Muppets Christmas Carol recently about, like, this was, like, a literary person, talking about how, like, critiquing it as just like, how good of an adaptation is it for A Christmas Carol? They're just like, oh, it's pretty interesting because it's a kids special. They can get away with having Gonzo be Charles Dickens and get a lot of the like Dickens narrations into it, which most other adaptations can't do. So it was really good. So they gave her points for that. The only thing that she gave, like, the harshest critique on was basically Scrooge's past. Because in the original book, Scrooge doesn't so much just hate Christmas in general, he just hates life. And at Christmas, that is, like, very obvious. Like, now, like, he was basically miserly from the start, whereas that was something that came later in his relationship with Belle. He's depressed, yes. Like, a lot of the lines in Muppets are, like, ripped directly out of the book. If they aren't, it's just, like, a random thing that is being changed for like, a traditionally a contemporary American audience. Like, most of the references to Christmas pudding are removed. Apparently, there are a lot of them in the original. They don't have the scene where the Ghost of Christmas, they don't have the scene where, like, what's his name? Scrooge is, complaining to the Ghost of Christmas present, just like, hey, why is the church trying to, close everything down so that the poor people can't, bake their bread on Sundays now? That's really bad. Like, how can God allow that? Just like, God isn't doing... Me and God aren't doing anything. It is humans doing it in our name. And yeah, no, we're calling them... Nah. Because Dickens was calling out, churches for trying to, like, get places to close everything. And for a lot of people, Sunday when bakeries were closed, but they left the ovens on, was kind of the only way a lot of places could get hot bread. Or a lot of people could get hot bread. And churches were trying to get rid of that. Because just like, no, it's a day of rest. Nothing should be open. Like... It's a scene that barely gets into any adaptation of The Christmas Carol because it was a very contemporary issue for Dickens at the time and is very inapplicable in most other places. Christmas pudding. No, it is a kind of food. Like, it is boiled pudding. I don't know if it and figgy pudding are exactly the same, but it is a kind of actual like food. I bet that was definitely served back then. Scrooge, miserable person, took it out on the world. Yep. And the other thing was, they went into a whole literary analysis about how Scrooge used to like Christmas, which, if you watch the Muppets version, is not clear at all. But it is clear in a couple other versions that, like, he enjoyed parts of Christmas. In his youth, and it was just as the years went on that he became more and more miserly and, like, started hating the world more. Because one of the things is, like, he usually talks about how Fezziwig wasn't really paying him much and like, getting him... He talked about how Fezziwig wasn't paying him much, but he was still just like, yeah, but Fezziwig was my boss. He could have made my life miserable, and he didn't. He threw great parties, invited me, introduced me to a lot of nice people, and then he becomes self-conscious, just like, maybe I'm treating Bob really badly. And that's definitely not in the Muppets version. Yeah, or boiled, depending on the dish. That is actually the original line in Christmas Carol. Just like, instead of roasted with his own turkey, it's boiled in his own pudding. It is almost the same thing? Yeah, okay. She also called out how, just like, man, there's no reason for Elizabeth to like this Scrooge. Yeah, no, that's kind of true. I think one reason I do like the Muppets version of it a lot is Michael Caine just has a presence that actually makes me believe that people are scared of him. A lot of other adaptations, Scrooge is like too old and crickety. Obviously, Michael Caine was not young while doing that, but he had like a presence or a strength in in wherever he was. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel like, to me, it doesn't feel like a lot of other places would be scared of Scrooge. Even if it is just a money thing. Years later, he played Alfred E. Alright, this is our encounter for Moss Deep, if we can catch it. Yeah, that's powerful. Will it survive? Wow. I'm gonna send out Kopf so I can paralyze it. Oh, I don't know if it might have Slash. I still think Kopf will be able to survive a Slash, even if a crit with Screech might be a little bit sus. I got a netball. Why not? The only other thing I would kind of consider using netball on is, like, Relicanth. Nice. There are shark constellation. Was there ever a Pokemon version of Christmas Carol? No. None of the none of the holiday specials for Pokemon really did anything like that. My star sheet is gone. Bidam is the shark. You know what? I'll believe it. I trust you. Yep. Got his Christmas bash. Yeah, no, like, there is the Pokemon Christmas bash, but nothing like that was ever, like, Christmas Carol. Nothing about that was Christmas Carol, and the, like, 5 or 6, like, Christmas shorts, the Pikachu Christmas shorts, did not do anything like a Christmas Carol. Yeah, no, we're talking Scrooge. We're talking Scrooge. No, we are talking a Christmas Carol, as in with Scrooge. Ebenezer Scrooge. It's called A Christmas Carol. The Christmas Carol, I'm pretty sure, is the song. Let me make sure about that. Yeah, A Christmas Carol is the novella. The Christmas Carol just gives me A Christmas Carol. Michael Caine Scrooge, best Scrooge? Yes. Like, I can enjoy other tellings of A Christmas Carol. Scrooged is a very fun contemporary adaptation of it. Scrooged is great. Lumpy. I know that voice. That's the scared Lumpy voice. Like, soon as a kid sees his mom, Niagara Falls. It's such a good movie. Bah Duck. Oh, Bah Duck was great. I have not seen that in so long, though. That would have maybe been high school, if not middle school, since I last saw that. Get a Bah Duck. The other thing I just have in my brain about that is like thaw, thaw, thaw. Oh, okay. You did not have Slash. Good. Cartoons that play down the time. Yeah, no. That's fine. I come from a very Christmas family. We visited, like, Christmas Eve was always spent with my dad's side of the family. Basically, like, the 3, like, generally we would either go Boxing Day or the 27th to my mom's side of the family. So that's how we would celebrate, as we celebrate it every year. And it was always a fun time. Alrighty, honestly, you're the best option for a second. Also, hi, Pickletron. I don't know if I've said hi. Whee! Engines in the spirit. Strength of your spirit. The weak spirit didn't never win. This gym is so interesting how different it is between Ruby and Sapphire to Emerald. It's always just like, it's always so weird looking at it being like, oh yeah, this was, I realized bad move on my part, bad move on my part. Oh, thank goodness. I remembered something that Curlia can definitely learn, and I'm just like, no. No, Muppets Christmas Carol is still my favorite. Oh, wow, we actually got imprisoned. Is that psychic or confusion? Okay. 'Tis the season to be jolly and joyous. Ba-la-la. I don't really know. Is there anything else Game Awards related really want to talk about? Or we fully move on from that, even if we are mostly moved on from it. Probably not. Roads you have traveled, what you have experienced. Come at me with everything you have learned. President Ross showed up. Yeah, Indy, and Harrison Ford definitely looked like he was very excited to be there. He was the most excited I have ever seen Harrison Ford at an event like that. Like, in Shadow's chat, we were joking about it. I was just like, how do we do... What? Okay. We were joking about, just like, how do they get Harrison Ford? I'm just like, there's a very obvious answer. They paid him. And he's wondering if they paid him enough. He's wondering if just like, was that the correct price I gave them? Oh boy, you can tell me my future? Harrison Ford definitely just feels like a kind of person who does not enjoy that he's a celebrity, but will also accept money. I mean, I can't, considering how rabid Star Wars fans can get, I don't blame him for not being the happiest about, like, being associated with it. Why is this thing only wishing? You will wage a terrifically intense battle of our gym leaders. The result, you won't hear it from me. They showed up. Was the thing since Empire, he always loved Indy? Yeah. I mean, that's what they brought him in for. They brought him in for Indiana Jones because Great Circle just released. They brought him in to be a spokesperson for Indiana Jones. They did not bring him in more for Star Wars. I mean, like, here's the thing. Star Wars, like, nobody expected Star Wars to hit off the way that it did. It hit off extremely high, like, with episode 1, with A New Hope. Especially because you can look at the writing of episode 1. It is kind of the most bare bones take of the hero's journey. It is not, like, it's not bad. It's obviously really good, and the effects were good for the time. But it is also incredibly simple. Sometimes I'm out of sync. References to the Indie ride at Disneyland. That's hilarious. Like, I enjoy Star Wars. I've seen all the movies. I watched Clone Wars and Rebels. I've watched a couple of the other side things. They are fun. They are definitely fun series. I've never read any of the things before, or never read any of like the Legends books, the any of the comics or anything. Ah! Oh, that means torrents activated. Well then. Natasha Dubishan. Alright. Oh my goodness, what is this giraffe? Alright, let's check this out. 51, 84, yeah, 54, 44, of course. Had a horrible speech pattern in Best Wishes in the dub or in the sub. I don't remember. Like, Cedric was fine from what I remember, but most of my experience with Best Wishes is Japanese. Probably one of the reasons I like Best Wishes. So, like, if he had a speech pattern that was weird, I didn't notice it. And out Aquila. Try to get the kids killed. He does that in the Japanese version too, when he just steals the golden darkstone. Because he can. Cedric Juniper is not a smart man. Pauses at the worst times. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. Those ones. Yeah, no, that's it. That's in Japan as well. That 100% is in Japan. I think that plays better. I'm pretty sure those are jokes that play better in Japanese than in English because structurally with Japanese, words can have multiple different contexts. Or, like, you can say words in basically in almost any sort of order. It just matters what conjugation you use with a verb ending. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing with it. It's like, so that's why and also, like, Japanese culture basically is, like, made around inferring things. So typically they will never, or I won't say never, they very rarely will, like, clarify subjects or anything. You just have to infer what the last thing in the conversation was being talked about. And that is supposedly the actual subject of the sentence. Hello, Blue Yosh. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't get to fight you. Do I care enough to fight you, to go over and fight you? Honestly, not really. Honestly, Pisces and Jirachi are probably going to be fine for these two. It's just a Soul Rock and a Ludotone in this game. Yeah, were you surprised? Were you surprised that there are 2 gym leaders? We're twins. We don't need to talk because we can determine what the other is thinking, all in our minds. This combination of yours, can you beat it? Been so long, apparently. This is what it looks like in Ruby and Sapphire. If you're used to Emerald, it looks very different. Oh god, I forgot how high level they were, though. I'm a little bit more scared of the Soul Rock because I think that can, like, put down a sunny day and use Solar Beam! Oh god. These were mistakes. Wow, that was a crit, but the crits don't care about the sun. Oh, God! Pisces might be dead. If that thing knows Solar Beam, Pisces might be dead. I mean, there's nothing else I can do. No Solar Beam. Well then. The problem is that they had the highest special defense out of everybody. I think we just lost the Nuzlocke. No, wow, we barely didn't. If Jirachi dies, the Nuzlocke is over. I mentioned that a couple of times. Like, well, okay. Natasha, will you survive? God, if I remember they were 42, I would not have come in like this. Natasha is dead. Is this a stupid move? Yes, but I also have no idea what else to do at this point. The fact that that worked is amazing. No, they're like... I probably should have guessed from how high level everything else was. Alright, now we're just going to have to rely on, chance. If Cop survives this, it's gonna be through a lot of luck. Ugh. Do I have any of the... no, I do not. God, just one Calm Mind and it could one-shot everybody. That's huge. Saw that coming. Thankfully, they just used a Hyper Potion. Oh, come on! Jirachi, wake up, please. Oh my goodness. Why? Just wake up! Thank you. Nuzlocke thing. There it is. Almost like it's fake is sleeping or something. Yeah, almost. Dare I bring Natasha back to life a second time? Use the... Like, I'm bringing Pisces back to life, 100%. Pisces is coming back to life. Oh, come on. I just have a Chesto Berry, yes. Let's go Confusion and see if we can get, like, a Confuse off, just to make this go maybe faster. Damn it. We finally realized. Between the two, Kopf is the better one to bring back to life than Natasha, as much as I... And Meb is dead. Wow, this was a nightmare. Oh. God, that was awful. If I had known how high level they were, I wouldn't have gone in right now. I didn't think they were 42. Thought they were gonna be like they were gonna be like 37 or so. That could have gone better. Yeah, it could have. Well, I'm gonna... The real question, how helpful would Kopf really be? Like, Pisces is coming back to life, 100%. Pisces is definitely gonna come back to life. Natasha, I love you. You're not coming back to life a second time. I'm sorry, girl. Meb, you are also not coming back to life. I'm very sorry. Cheated death once, I can't let you do it again. I mean, that one was my own fault, like that, because I was not paying attention to how much damage things were doing. But should Kopf be brought back to life? That's the question. Should I shill for money? Shill for money to revive people? No, not gonna do that. Like... Because against Wallace, it's like, as a grass type, Breloom are not that good. But also, as a grass type, what are my other options? A Roselia, who's also not that good. Or an Oddish. Or if I'm not doing grass, we have, And even as a fighting type, I could use a Hariyama instead. Or I could teach fighting moves to our Zangoose. Zangoose is definitely going to be replacing one of them. Would Alcor be good? Or I could also use Cassiopeia. An electric type would not be the worst. Could also use Berenices. No. No, I think I am going to determine that Cop is not going to come back to life. Even more so. 2 of our 3 revives are being used. Oh, there is no move items option in here. That's a shame. Yeah, the other one in there is, our Nummel, whose name I cannot remember. Oopsie. God, 42. Oh, well. Alright, let's get Hercules and, oh, it is Muspelheim. Grass-type Vileplume is more bulky and... Oh, yeah. If I'm going to use a Grass-type, it is going to be, it's gonna be Oddish. It's gonna be Spica. Yeah, I do think a Camerupt will be better, especially since this is Ruby and Sapphire with Steven. Even if Metagross, I'm pretty sure, also has Earthquake, like, it still would be good against Skarmory and Aggron. Rock Slide would probably be alright against, like, a lot of Drake's Pokemon, aside from, like, Flygon. Would not be... could help out against Glacia. good mon for this team and for what we have left. Let's be real. Okay, Wallace is the biggest thing that we need to deal with. So I'm going to go with Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia or Dionysus. Or Electra. Adamant, brave, gentle. You're both unevolved. I think Electra wins this I think Electra wins out of these three. We need to go. Let's go and fish up some whales. Because apparently we need to grind. Not fast or orb, only Zappy Doggo. Yeah. We can also get our Lily Cove encounter, which is Staryu. There's nothing else as far as I'm remembering that we can get here. With the species, with the dupe species clause thing. Hey, Staryu. That's a little bit higher level than I would have thought. Will I go? Yeah, fishing is weird in this game. Sad Meb died. I was hopeful that she could live. I was hopeful to see how far I could take her. I didn't even name the Staryu. I'm a fool. Oh, I'm blank. Yeah. Man. Losing 4 Pokemon in that just, like, really threw me for a loop. Update this properly. It wasn't even 4 deaths, it was 5. It's 5 deaths now. More fun news. Since the schedule got announced, yeah, I'm gonna be participating in side quest Winter Masquerade on over on Zeldathon channel. Gonna be playing some Koibi Star allies. It's gonna be fun. I got some things planned for some fun things. You wanna know what really would have saved the day? If Jirachi could get a steal move in this game, that would have saved. That would have made that gym a cakewalk. Yeah. We're gonna be doing guest star mode and maybe some ultimate choice if things can be accomplished. Interesting. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah, and still starting on the 18th, we still got Jolly Jamboree with Gamers Outreach. Where we're playing Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Have some fun things planned for that. That one, some of the donation incentives are going to be unlocking new emotes for the channel. Ooh. What are you camouflaging as? A normal type, that's fine. Remember playing a Robobot port on the Switch? I don't believe it. That's my thoughts on it. Just like, yeah, okay. Like, that's just too random a game to decide to port onto the Switch, honestly. As much as people will tout it as one of the best Kirby games, and it is a very good Kirby game, it's one I would probably rank as probably one of the best. How good did it do sales-wise? Kirby Series sales. In terms of millions... Planet Robobot, yeah, is the lowest selling of the Return to Dreamland style Kirby games. I don't know exactly when this chart was updated. It doesn't seem to. I don't think. Yeah, remakes are counted separately. How much did it do compared to Dreamland Deluxe? I'm curious. My Robot, 1.64 million, whereas Return to Dreamland Deluxe is currently at 1.46. Man, Robobot is further. Robobot is like right in the middle of general Kirby game releases. Wow. And this is a chart that it's, for some reason, including Dream Course as a main series game. Alright, sure, whatever. I think Battle Royale is a main series game. Wow. Robobot did sell better than Superstar. Interesting. Ads are about to start, so let's switch over to the break screen. While we're on a break, you can grab a drink or a snack, use the restroom, stretch, release unneeded tension in your body, or join me in some sit-ups. We'll be back in just a bit. I'm curious, what song did it go to? It went from very chill to exciting. Curious. Victory Gym Leader, Battle Tower. Hello. Team Magma. Yeah. How you doing, Tunic? Welcome. Ah. Oh, what the heck? Hold up. Ah, yes, perfect. The game is perfect, right? Ah. Okay. Why is it being like that? Those wires. Alrighty. Hopefully it's fine now. Ugh. Yeah, hope everybody had a good break. Yes, welcome on in, Tunic, and anybody else who might have joined in during the break. After we had multiple deaths against, After we had multiple deaths against Tate and Liza, now we are trying to train people up, and we were about to get another death. What the heck? The SVD HDMI converter is definitely a thing sometimes. So I feel I'm grinding half the time. They're fun. They can definitely be a little bit frustrating at times. When we did gold, we ended with only really 4 Pokemon on the team, but also we had a Slowking, so what else did we really need on the team? Alright, let me actually switch to the Good Rod for a bit, because apparently the Wilmer might be a bit too strong with the Super Rod. Never mind, we're doing the Super Rod, because if we're gonna get Magikarp, they're gonna be so worthless. But Carp, I mean, they're not, I mean, we're just beating them, so, like, that's not beating up Carp is not helpful. Trying to debate where, like, the best place to grind actually would be. I mean, actually, these levels, we could probably go around by Dewford. We didn't really challenge too many of the people there. They'd have, like, decent levels for the Electrike gear. See, the problem is that my grinding spots usually in this game are... The spots that I know that are good for grinding are, like, in Emerald. Because the Magma Cavern's really good for grinding there. Yeah, the routes from Petalburg to Slateport will actually be good for grinding, at the very least, Electra. Ay, ay, ay. I will admit, not feeling the best right now because was talking to Aquarist that I volunteer with at the aquarium. There's an open position at the aquarium right now, but they were more or less saying just like, you're gonna have a very hard time getting this because you don't have like internship experience, and like stuff you do at volunteering is not the best for like trying to move forward here. You want to find an apprenticeship instead of or an internship to like keep moving forward at your stage. Just like, cool, where are those? And how many of them are like also eligible for me 5 years after graduating? Because a lot of them are not. And I was feeling good because like conversation with like one of the HR people felt like it was going well, but with one of the talking with my actual aquarist, she was a little bit more like a little bit more like blunt about just like, yeah, it's gonna be you might be a hard sell. Here, the trick house, it doesn't have trainers. I did a couple of them back in Emerald. But not too much. Yeah, there are probably some trainers we could also challenge. Yeah. Always the never-ending 20 or 30 years of experience. Yep. How do you get experience if nobody's hiring you? Yep, that whole catch-22 and whatnot. And $30,000 spent real well getting me so many jobs with that degree I got. By the way, you can also visit my throne to contribute to my fund for getting for helping pay off student loans a bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna submit to the job. It wasn't like this was just like a. Like, I definitely was not, I'm definitely not feeling the happiest hearing that from, like, a person there. It also feels like, okay, so why have I been volunteering if this isn't helpful? But, I don't know. She was a mermaid? Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely feeling... Yeah, job market is, like... not been the most fun. Like, currently working retail, and, like, it's paying better now, but also it's still, like, not livable by any means outside of, like, me being with my parents right now. I enjoy streaming, but that's not gonna get profitable. I'd have to change a lot. That's not profitable, especially with me trying to do many other things. Definitely just feeling a little bit in a slump right now. But still sending applications, still working on, still trying to make it through. Alright, here, yeah. Just like, I know it's a competitive field, but also it's just like, it's... like, it's so... I don't know, like, they don't have... I've seen 3 internships, like, actually come up at the place that I'm working right now. 2 of them were for recent college graduates. One of them I applied to, and they flat out said, like, yeah, you're ineligible because you've been graduated. And this was, like... You've graduated 3 years ago, and that only obviously increased. And the one that didn't have anything, the one that didn't have any sort of restriction on that, like, I never heard anything back from them. Like, not even no, just literally nothing. Yay, we have a main electric now. I mean, honestly, the retail's not that bad. It's just not, like, it just does not make money. It just does not make enough money to live, like, where I'm at. And it's just, like, it feels so bad because, like, a lot of these things just, like, they feel like they should be entry-level positions that, like, I should be able to get at least something to start with into. But nothing's, like, working for that. Nothing, I'm not getting into those kinds of things. Like some of the suggestions that I was told to, 3 of them were just like called me, said like, yeah, you sound really good, but we're not hiring anything. Just like, then why did you even respond to me? And why do you have these jobs on your website to be like, hey, yeah, apply for this? God, I hate that so much. Just like, if you're looking for jobs, put them up. If you're not, don't put up things just to get like a pool of resumes to like maybe someday be like, oh yeah, hold on. God, winning the lottery would sound so nice. I'm a lousy runner, but in the water you can't catch me. Man, imagine if I had actually gotten into V Shoujo. That would get rid of a lot of troubles. Imagine financial stability were feasible. Don't think that's happening don't think that's gonna be happening anytime soon. Like, the outlook does not look good for financial stability in a lot of things. When they aren't hiring, I don't know, a lot of places apparently. Like, obviously, I have money saved up. Like, I'm not, like, in the most dire of straits, but also, like... what's the old saying? Like, $1,000 is a lot of money to owe, but it's not a lot of money to have. Now it's just like, yeah, like... Something like that. I was just like, oh man, you feel like you're making a lot of money, but it's just like, no, all of that goes to just living. Still like the type of job I wanted. Yeah, I'm still trying, Like, I'm fine with where I'm at right now, although I would like something better. One thing, something with benefits. I don't know, wait, I don't know, maybe, current climate about health insurance is, like, definitely getting, like, testy in some regards. We're not gonna talk too much about that, but, there's a non-zero chance that some things could get reformed, but not counting the next few years. I wouldn't have either, but the last week has been definitely very interesting response for a lot of people. It's like, oh wow, I'll take a snooze, I think. A wild few months, yeah. World has definitely been a place recently. Please, everybody, stay safe. Please try and stay safe. Yay! Alrighty. A whole different class of tough. See, it's like my backyard. Let's battle. Yay. Like I said, I'm not in any bad situation. Like, I have a job and I'm living with my parents, but they're fine with it. I would just like to have some semblance of an idea of being a slightly more independent. As the way it's looking, I might need to move with them come like June, July-ish. Just because, like, well, I can't afford to live in California by myself, so... Could be worse, but it could be better. Yes. I mean, even when I was in Kentucky, like... Even when I was in Kentucky with a full-time job, my liar of a boyfriend told me I look great in a bikini. Even when I was, living full-time there, that was being subsidized with my parents helping pay for the apartment. Like, basically, it was their account that was paying for it, and I was just paying them back every month, a certain amount of it. It's just like... I don't know. Money is awful. Money is... Yeah, I hate so much with the, like, concept of money and how much things cost. Like, it's so awful. Like, the most expensive thing to do is literally living. It's so nonsense. Like, I don't mind the idea of spending money to do things like this, playing this silly little thing on a giant TV screen. Like, this isn't necessary. Like, being my little, like, anime character self. Like, this is something I could perfectly live fine without. Eating food, that feels like something just like having a place to sleep without, like, potential of getting eaten by, like, animals or anything, or freezing to death. Love the sea. Forget all my worries when I swim. Man, I wish I could. I mean, I could. It's cold to do that right now, but it's still, like, definitely... I could definitely just go to a beach. One of the things that just, like, really bothers me is just, like, it feels like... It always feels like getting started is the worst possible thing to... Or, like, starting out is always the worst possible step. Like, if I can get into anywhere, I can go through pretty well. Like, for the most part. There's gonna be some places where it's not gonna work. Somewhere cheaper. I mean, I used to live in Kentucky. The reason I'm in California is that's where my family is. I had to move in with them. I'm applying places all over the country. But one of the places I'm applying right now is obviously the place that I'm also volunteering at. Just like, hey, yeah, look at what I'm already doing for you. Imagine how much better I could be if you give me more hours and pay me. But, like, I'm somewhat told, almost point blank, just like, yeah, the volunteers do not do that much compared to what the actual position is. It's like, I don't know, that feels like disingenuous to a degree. It's like, we get tasked, but you don't have any responsibilities. I'm like, I don't know, I feel like that's splitting hairs. Who's gonna catch himself a big one? Here's a big one. Bust a wolf. Maybe I should try and invest in the streaming thing a little bit more. Here, let's go. Yeah. I definitely look into other places. It's just trying to get that first couple footholds. Probably won't be our lack of internship. I think the weirdest thing is just how few I've seen on the positions. It's like... check. Let me see if there's anything else on here right now. Yeah, I don't think volunteer. Yeah, it's not going to be anything in this. We'd actually have to pay you? I don't know. I'm not gonna say, like, working at aquariums is not, like, an extremely competitive thing. I can understand that. Like, I know there's probably, like, dozens of applications sent into this that are going to look different, and a lot of them are probably going to look better than mine. Also, it's just like, I mean, where else am I gonna be going? You have no idea how much I hate every single email that's just like, we overlooked your application, but have decided not to move forward. We've decided to move forward with a person who has more experience. Just like, yeah, you would have guessed that. Blah, 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 blah. The reason I don't have that experience is because everybody keeps sending me that same email. I'm not gonna learn amnesia. Ugh. I think the worst part is that I would not mind where I'm at right now if it weren't for the fact that I am, like, consciously aware that, like, I could not stay here. I cannot stay here with the, like, current this situation just is not sustainable. Like, there are so many, like, I would have loved to also just stay in Kentucky, like, for way longer. But it was already going to... But basically, what my pay was... Every month, it was not enough to stay there. Basically, it was like... I think it totaled out to be, like, technically exactly enough for rent by the end. But I was living there for like, 3 years. And at the very end, it's like, oh, now you make just enough to pay rent. Like, yeah, okay, but there's other expensive, like, I don't know, food. Like, you know how much food you buy in any amount of time? And that's... and also, like, here's the other thing, like, when it comes to, like, cost of things, I don't have, like, a lot of monthly things to really, like, pay, aside from just, like, my student loans. And technically, those are even just in forbearance with Save right now. Like, I still pay a little... I still try and pay some of it every month because, like, those aren't... Like, they don't go away by ignoring them. But, like, I don't have, like, a car or anything. I don't have any, like, any health issues that need me to be paying a lot of medicine. The biggest other expense I have is, like, contacts if I need them, but I could also just get by fine with my glasses. It's so silly just how I would be fine with so many different positions I was in my life if it weren't for the fact that I also need to pay for a house. Or pay for an apartment or anything like that. Oh, wait, I already battled you. I did realize the reason everybody died is because it's Friday the 13th. Of course everybody was gonna die on this day. Maybe it's just because of interest, yep. Maybe I can whip out a banging cover letter and kill it at the interview, and they'll actually be like, no, we will give it to you. As I said, there's still a chance that they'll give it to me. It definitely hit me hard hearing all that, even if I know it is, like, probably the honest truth. I'm still gonna send in the application. I'm still gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna be like, no, you need to hire me. No, you need me. I don't need you, you need me. I desperately need you. Goodbye, Metal. My loans are not the highest, but it's still, like, roughly 30,000, so... It's still a lot. Not like a nothing number. Buy a Chevy for 30,000. Yeah. I heard to do with interviews, talk like you're the solution. Oh yeah, no, I'm leveraging, like, the things that I can leverage that, like, probably won't be in a lot of applications is, stagecrafts. I do that, probably gonna exaggerate contacts that I have with Newport for things. Oh no, I said a place, whatever. The important thing, you're never supposed to lie in an interview, but if you better be, like, selling yourself. We'll see. Like, the biggest thing that's not going to be... the biggest, like, hurdle against me is probably my, like, lack of dive experience in a professional setting. Or lack of dive experience in general. I think we can also get a horsey in here. I pressed it a little bit too early. I will say, the weirdest thing is always, like, the places that, like, contact me out of state that are giving me, like, actual interviews, giving me secondary interviews. But the place that I'm working at here has not even given me one. Oh boy, a horsey. We can also talk. You know what we can also talk right now? We can talk Pokemon. For as much of the principal low as you can, saves on interest that way. Yeah. So, latest things I've seen with Johto Journeys, met Kurt. Kurt existed. They got some fancy Pokeballs. Got some fancy Pokeballs. 3 of them will get used. 3 of them will be forgotten about for forever. Name something in Draco. Let's name it something in Draco. It'll be the easiest thing. Could also just call it Draco. Why are all of these stars just called, like, Draconis Number? That's so... why? Take the GS ball and promptly throw it in the garbage. Yep. Why is every star in Draco just called Draconis? Achilles? Is Achilles a star in Draco? It's also a girl. Oh my goodness! Oh wait, no, there are other names. That's the designation. That's why I'm being foolish. My goodness. All ties. Yeah. Let's go with that one. No, I was looking at the designation, not the modern name. Anyway, Kurt showed up, Brock caught up Pineco, Ash had a very good battle against Bugsy. It was very fun. It's a very fun battle. The only, Pikachu, Chikorita, and Cyndaquil all had really good moments in it. I can call out a little bit, just like Cyndaquil not being able to use its flame is still weird, but it's just like, it's a fine enough personality quirk. Wasn't like a major detriment, and all it really served to do was just like give an excuse for Chikorita to get a win in. And also for, like, utilizing Pikachu a little bit. Because otherwise, if Cyndaquil could use its flame by itself, then there would be no tension in that gym battle at all. When does Ash get Totodile? That's gonna be in the last disc that I have, but it's like, I think it's like 3 or 4 episodes left from where I have. Yeah, but yeah, the battle against Bugsy was good. I still love how twice Ash wins a gym battle by having Cyndaquil put the gym leader's ace into a fire tornado, because I'm pretty sure that's how he beats Jasmine as well. I'm pretty sure that's how that goes. I remember that sandstorm getting lit on fire. Let's see, what was after that? Was the next thing after that no, next one was the Farfetch'd episode. That was a fine enough episode. Like, I can enjoy a regular, just like, hey, here's this character. Here's this random character, he has a problem listening with his Pokemon listening to him, and it's just like an adaptation of, like, an actual plot point in the game itself. So, like, it was done pretty well. I was laughing about how the dad went from being, like, the most, like, stereotypical, like, dad, like, yelling about how incompetent his child is, to immediately being, like, extremely reasonable in, like, the span of 5 seconds. When he's just like, hey, your son is trying really hard to learn how to be a Pokemon trainer. Just like, oh, you're a Pokemon trainer too? Then you should know what I'm talking about. You don't become a good Pokemon trainer without working together with your Pokemon in body and mind. You don't just give them commands. Just like, oh, wait, what? How did you become reasonable? You just seemed like the stereotypical angry dad, and then you gave, like, actual solid advice that fits into this world. That's illegal. And then the next episode after that is simultaneously one of the best things for the series and also a really weird thing for the series. Because the next episode introduces Wobbuffet. Fantastic Pokemon, fantastic addition to the cast. No notes on Wobbuffet. How Jessie gets Wobbuffet, on the other hand, I have a couple of notes on. Because it just feels so unceremonious. It's like, oh yeah, this Lickitung that Jessie has been carrying around, and they've been utilizing, like, decently well. In the Farfetch'd episode, I was surprised at how much they were utilizing Lickitung and how competent Lickitung was. I'm just like, the next episode is, like, because I saw the episode list when I was going through this, and like, the very next episode is when Lickitung gets traded away. Why are you giving it so much focus right now? It's literally about to be gone. Yeah, like, Jessie, like, is knocked into the trading machine. Her Lickitung's Pokeball falls into the trading machine and gets traded for Wobbuffet. And then she doesn't realize it until, like, in the middle of their the secondary part of their plan, which, by the way, you know what? Let me first talk about how good Team Rocket's plan actually was, because I was kind of amazed at how well they actually did this. So they made a fake trading machine that, like, when the Pokemon was traded, they just swapped out empty Pokeballs and just hoarded the real ones inside of it. Usually, that seems like standard Team Rocket fare, usually. But then they start getting, like, people start getting wiser about that. They're just like, hey, wait a second. I think they're stealing our Pokemon. So they wrap everybody up in a giant, like, rope, grappling hook rope thing. Fake magical rope. There's no way it would have worked in like, in real life, but you know what, whatever. Nothing Team Rocket does should work in real life. Managed to trap everybody for that. Then Ash just, like, it's just like, hey, everybody, send out your Tauros to trample Team Rocket, which somehow works. And it seems like, okay, yeah, they lost because of plot contrivance. But then it was revealed that the bag that fell out of their balloon was also full of fake Pokeballs. So it seemed like they got away with it. I'm just like, oh, wow. Well done on Team Rocket. They thought ahead. They planted a second fake bag so that when they blast off, it's like, oh, yeah, no, yeah, we definitely blasted off. You ruined our plans. Oh, no. And then they're left with the fake Pokeballs. Like, well done. Then Ash and Co. find them, because of course they do, because they can't end the episode with Team Rocket winning. That's when it gets revealed that Wobbuffet was there. Wobbuffet does decently well, is able to beat Chikorita, and then Pikachu wins for reasons. Yeah, Pikachu just won for reasons. Like, honestly, with how that scene goes, Wobbuffet tries to counter. It looks like it's working, but then it goes around Wobbuffet and hits Jesse James and Meowth. But Wobbuffet still also gets shocked. And like, they play like, the show plays fast and loose with how counter and mirror code work constantly. So I can only, like, complain about it so much, because usually how it works in the game or in the show, it is just like, okay, if the move is weak enough, it will just get reflected back and there's no difference. If it is too strong, then it just overwhelms the move. Which, you know what, it's fine. If it worked exactly how it worked in the game, probably wouldn't be too good of a thing. At the point in time, here's the thing. That's not gonna become important until they reintroduce Duplica, and then even in that exact same episode, they then are just like, "Hey, Wobbuffet, Whenever I say counter the attack, pick the move that you know will work. And that is the last they address it. That is the last they address the difference between Mirror Coat and Counter when it comes to Wobbuffet. They will talk about it with regards to other Pokemon, like the World Cup it is talked about. I remember that much. But when it comes to Wobbuffet specifically, it's just like, hey, Wobbuffet, you use the move that you know is correct. Anyway. And then they find out also later, like, trainer whose name I've already forgotten, who originally had Wobbuffet and gets the Lickitung, he shows up later and it's just like, hey, have you seen a lady with red hair and glasses? I wanted to thank her for this really cool Lickitung. And nobody ever realizes that it's Team Rocket's Lickitung and the same Wobbuffet. Nobody ever realizes this situation, which I think it makes it worse. Like, having watched all the episodes in a row, I definitely felt a little bit more of an attachment to Lickitung as, like, this, like, especially with some of the later episodes in the series. Later episodes that I've been watching, because they've been utilizing Lickitung in Victory Bell a whole lot more. Oh, whoopsie, ad started. You know what, I'm just gonna go for a little bit more. Yeah, let's get the intermission screen on. I'll be back in just a bit, not too long though. Alrighty, I'm back. So yeah, back to what we were talking about. So I am fine with Wobbuffet's introduction, or Wobbuffet being, like, given to Team Rocket, but it just is such a weird way to give it to them. It feels so disingenuous. This is also, like, aside from the Magikarp, this is the first time they've just gotten rid of one of Team Rocket's Pokemon. Like, they just, like, the Magikarp with James, that was just set up to be a gag, and then a problem for the very next episode. Hey, Muspelheim is evolving. So, Magikarp was never really a major character in it. Lickitung, like, debuted in, I would argue, a fan-favorite episode. Princess vs. Princess is, from what I hear, is pretty well-liked. Didn't get that much love in Kanto, but got decent amount of love in, Orange Islands, and I would say a lot of love in the early parts of Johto, and then it was just gotten rid of so unceremoniously. I don't know, that just feels really weird to me. And it also doesn't help that, this episode lose a Pokemon a lot in Gen 3. I mean, they don't. But the thing that they lose Weezing and Arbok, who are the most iconic. Because the next Pokemon that like gets taken away is James is forced by Jessie and Meowth to trade his Victory Bell for a Weepin' Bell. Then that Weepin' Bell evolves in the same episode, gets like blasted off, separate from Jessie, James, and Meowth, and reunites with James's original Victory Bell, who gets released by the Magikarp man because he's just like, oh, this Victory Bell keeps eating me. This was an awful trade to have made with that James character. Then the two Victory Bell just hop off into the sunset, which I guess is a little bit better fanfare, but also pretty... I remember, like, that being a really weird episode and kinda hating it. Like, no, I love Wobbuffet. I just hate how they got rid of Lickitung. And it doesn't help that episode also has Ash, like, swap out Heracross for Tauros just to enter into a competition. Which, you know, normally wouldn't matter that much. But I know what's gonna happen next episode, because next episode, he's going to send Tauros back, but Oka's like, hey, I'm still doing research on your Heracross, so, no, you cannot have it back. And Ash is okay with that for some reason. And he also has Squirtle go back to the Squirtle Squad. And Heracross is not used again until the Silver Conference in the battle against Gary. Which, like, he gets Ash's first win against Magmar, but then, like, loses out to Blastoise. But it's so... Like, Ash's first Johto Pokemon does not get a single Johto gym battle. A single Johto gym badge battle. Not even in the Bug Gym, where a Bug versus Bug match would have been really cool, because they already did that with Blade in like the earlier episode with Shingo. They already had Heracross battling a strong bug type, so it's just like, well, there's no sense to have him battle Bugsy. That would just be redundant. Also, 2 episodes later, we're gonna get rid of him until the League. And all of this is just because, like, in, like, 4 episodes later, they're going to give us a Totodile and Noctowl, like, in quick succession. It's basically just like, okay, we... Just like, Which one are we better equipped to get rid of? Heracross or Bulbasaur? And they chose Heracross. And I'm utterly convinced one of the reasons that they chose Heracross over Bulbasaur being gotten rid of is because they wanted to have Bulbasaur give the farewell to Squirtle. They couldn't get rid of Squirtle without that farewell with Bulbasaur. Like, I know, like, these are episodes I actually remember. Like, I remember Aiden's reintroduction, Squirtle Squad versus Team War Turtle. I remember all of that, so that's why I know about things I can be upset about coming up. It just makes that Poke Swap episode so weird and, like, in some ways a little bit disingenuous, because, yeah, the Pokemon themselves are their own characters. And, like, unlike in the games where trading is just, like, a way to fill out a Pokedex, in the show, it's either treated way too seriously or not seriously enough for what it is. It's like, you are giving away a Pokemon that you might have, like, raised or had, like, very emotional connections with. Like, these are living creatures in the terms of the world, so it's actually... there's, like, an emotional connection to it. That's why the only permanent trade that they do with Ash in the series is Weasel for Apom. Because that is, like, hey, this is, like, the best scenario for Weasel and Apom, because Weasel is not as interested in helping Dawn with her contest, even if he does still like Dawn as a person. And same with Apom. Apom, like, loves Ash, but likes being showy and flashy with her moves, and is so not as interested in doing the gym battles that Ash is trying to go through. And they treat that seriously, which is why it's one of the better instances of showing trading in the entire series. But in this one, it's treated, with how it treats Lickitung, it's treated so unseriously. And there are some other things as well with how I can understand Ash being a little bit more reluctant to trade things because of how much he regretted it with Butterfree, but also, he's offered so many different trades with a Tauros, for a Tauros, when he has 30 of them. Yeah, it was an accident, but, like, the entire idea of the trading is... in the show, it's weird that it's a thing. It feels like it's only there for obligation purposes. Do all 30 have the same moveset? We don't know. He's only, as far as I am remembering, he has used Tauros in 5 instances. 6, I think, hold on, let me recount. He used individual Tauros, aside from, like, situations where, like, the entire crowd is being used. There was the battle against Drake for the Orange Cup, the Tauros competition in the Swamp Mead episode that we just had. He uses a Tauros against Gary in their full battle. And then the match against Annabelle and its subsequent rematch, which we can assume is not a, he didn't swap out a Tauros for a different Tauros in that instance. I believe that is every time he used Tauros in battle. So roughly, we can only say he's... At most, we can... Oh, wait, no, hold up. He used it against Spencer as well. He used one against Spencer. No, that was Heracross. It was not Tauros. Yeah, it was Heracross he used. He did not use against Spencer. I remembered Tauros fighting in Venusaur. I was confusing that with Drake. Yeah. Realistically, we can only say that Ash is used for Tauros. Aside from, like, if we want to trust instances where he's at Oak's lab and is, like, okay with all 30 of them crashing into Team Rocket or something. But he's offered to trade, like, a bunch of Pokemon for the Tauros, including a Rhyhorn, which is extra funny if you've actually seen the Safari Zone episode. Because one of the reasons he caught so many Tauros is that he tried to throw a Safari Ball at a Rhyhorn, and then the horde of Tauros got in the way. Which just makes it really funny when he's offered to trade Tauros for a Rhyhorn. It's like, why not, Ash? You wanted a Rhyhorn more than you wanted a Tauros. It's really bad. Yeah, Sarah had a bit of a rough start as Ash, but she got fine. She was fine. Wait, was somebody else Ash before Sarah? Hold up. Veronica Taylor. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, no, I knew that. I'm talking... Cast change in Season 9. It was bad for Ash. It's really bad with Ash for Season 9-10. Yeah, Sarah... Oh, wow, there was somebody in the original Mastermind Mirage Pokemon. Jamie Peacock. Who's that? Oh, Daisy Rogers. She's not related to Bill Rogers. Thank you. Ah, Max, okay. The original Mastermind Mirage Pokemon. So there are 2 dubs of Mastermind and Mirage Pokemon. Wasn't Wobbuffet's trainer really concerned about how it was going to be used by somebody to take care of it? Yes. Yes. He was just like, take good care of Wobbuffet for me. Okay, John Nader, I'm a little bit confused. You said you didn't like the cast change, saying it was really bad for Mastermind and Mirage Pokemon. Yeah. Do you not know Mastermind of Mirage Pokemon? Okay, we'll get back to that in a second, but first I'm trying to figure out what you were saying. Hated about Battle Frontier, the cast change, it was really bad with Ash, but you prefer Sarah as Ash. Like, I think Sarah does a great Ash. It's just that when started off with Battle Frontier, she was a bit rough. But a little too much gravel in, like, her voice, I would say. I think that's the best way to describe it. Yes, Mastermind of Mirage Pokemon. It was a, like, random special episode that was just, like, a kind of innocuous thing. They went to a special, like, facility run by a professor that was, showcasing Mirage Pokemon, which were basically, like, real holograms of Pokemon. But they could also have, like, elevated stats and moves that they couldn't normally learn. So, like, I think in the in the first battle they had, like, an Armaldo that could learn, like, that new, like, Thunderbolt, which Armaldo can't learn. It was like, oh, wow, that was, like, really interesting. That's a really interesting concept for these Mirage Pokemon. Yeah, but they're only limited to this area. And then a mysterious man shows up starts like trying to take control of the Mirage Pokemon system in order to allow it to spread past the confines of that system and take over the world with super-powered fake Pokemon. A lot of people interpret this as, like, the Pokemon Company, like, calling out the people who use hacked Pokemon. Which, if they ever confirmed was the case, I think would be hilarious. The Advanced Recast was when 4Kids lost the Pokemon license to the Pokemon Company. Yes, they lost that license, and while this story has been muddled for some regard, like, in some regards for some people, I believe the current story that most people agree with, including like both casts, said the episode had 2 different dubs. Yes, there were 2 dubs. The original broadcast run that was released, like, the premiere episode, I think it might have even premiered at like a special like Comic-Con event or something. And then subsequent airings and the disc that came with Lucario and the Mystery of Mew had the second dubbing. That was the first one with Sarah as Ash. So there are 2 versions of it. I'm sure you could probably find a way to find the original dubbing somewhere and hear some of the differences. So yes, back to when the dubbing changed. When that changed, I believe most of the cast was given some potential opportunity. Was the original 4Kids cast? No, it was still Pokemon. It was still Pokemon Company, and a lot of the actors did still portray the characters that they would be. Like, I want to say Michelle Knotts was still Misty and Jessie in that. Anyway, back to the recast in general. While I do not know if this was the case for everybody, I believe how it is that they were offered the opportunity to either stay with Pokemon or stay with 4Kids. Because 4Kids had a non-compete clause in their contracts where they could not reprise characters in media that was not officially licensed by 4Kids, which has always been a thing that a lot of the 4Kids voice actors hated about 4Kids. Like, this is the reason for Leo Burnett and 4Kids Are the Devil. That is the reason that exists, was because Eric lost a lot of money because of how that affected him doing commercials, and resulted in him losing his health insurance, I believe. But they were given that choice because it was either, okay, if you move over to Pokemon, if you stick with the Pokemon International, that means that you are now breaking that non-compete clause and breaking your contract and can no longer work with 4Kids. So for like X amount of times, because eventually some of the cast returned in some regards, like Ted Lewis eventually returned as Giovanni. Carter was there the entire time and is more or less blacklisted from redubbing anything in Yu-Gi-Oh! Apparently, even to this day. But he's also retired now, so it's kind of irrelevant. Why? Because he broke that contract, and I'm sure people could have, I'm sure most of the people who were there probably don't care, but he still broke a contract, so that's gonna be, that can mean that his name is just permanently on a list of, do not do anything with. 4Kids now owned by company. Yep. Owned by Konami. Yep. Like, I can appreciate a lot of things 4Kids, like, did to bringing media forward, but as a company, everything I learn about them is just like, no, it's really... As I get older, the more I learn about their decisions as a company, they were not a good company. Yeah, unions were barely a thing. Were barely a thing and not very good for voice actors back then. There's one possibility being traded for many future roles. Yeah, that's from what I can tell, that is what most of the cast eventually decide on. Some of them have said at some point that they didn't even get the opportunity, which maybe could have been like 4Kids like squandering or like withholding agreements from them. I don't know. I don't want to try and go too much into speculation. I'm sure they've talked multiple times about this in 4Kids Flashback. Like, from, like, the various actors who, like, got replaced, who didn't get replaced. I don't think they've talked to anybody who, like, did the replacing. Like, I don't think Sarah or, like, Michelle or anybody else who really got on. There's Sam Riegel, who best Rex Raptor. So it's a situation that like really just boiled down to 4Kids had a not good contract for them, and people made decisions that they thought were better for them in their life. Some of them stuck around, some of them did not, some of them eventually came back later in some regard. Probably not much more than, hey, got a new role in the next Pokemon series. Yep. I would say if I had that choice, I would probably... I don't know. It would depend how much I really felt Pokemon would keep going on for, because that's the other thing. Like, you could probably assume that it would go on for at least another season. For at least another season or two. Because they were, like... Because, they would have just been starting to advertise Diamond and Pearl, so you can assume that there would be a Diamond and Pearl anime series. But when doing a role... But Pokemon, at that point, had been around a decade, and you're just like, would that really stick around too much longer? I can see probably a lot of the voice actors are just like, I don't know how much longer Pokemon has. Do I want to get rid of every potential other role that 4Kids could give me just to keep this one? And I'm not sure I would say, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to say that that is a wrong decision to have made at that time. Yeah, that was definitely one of the... I would say that is probably one of the biggest valleys with Pokemon. And maybe that could have been in part due to the voice changing, to the voice actors changing. But I would still say that I would say generally, from when I was growing up, that felt like the time where most kids my age were not playing Pokemon anymore. Yeah, the card games there were no more illicit Pokemon card deals happening during resets. A lot of my bigger friends closer friends were no longer playing Pokemon, which may or may not have resulted in us not being as close friends anymore. Not for my part, but because I still liked Pokemon, and they're just like, well, you're not cool. children are mean sometimes. I remember we had like a random reconciliation in like in 8th grade. Some of my closest friends from elementary school, because I happened to mention to some new friends that I made, just like, yeah, I used to be friends with them, but there was like, I don't know, we'd kind of drifted apart. I always felt like there was like an older kid who kind of didn't like me in particular, and it felt like they kind of drove me away a little bit. And apparently, for some reason, they decided to like tell my old friends about this. They're just like, yeah, no, I didn't realize you really felt that way. I'm really sorry that you felt that way. I can see how it would feel that way. You want to like hang out a little bit more? I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. It was a weird reconciliation, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I don't know. Serious didn't really recover that in X and Y. Oh, no. I don't know. I would say Diamond and Pearl kind of had like a really big... it definitely had a valley. But I would say Diamond and Pearl was like the peak until like... And then Best Wishes had multiple things that may or may not have been good decisions as well. Black and White was definitely another valley because a lot of people were not the happiest about the loss of the Pokedex, the loss of, or like the new Pokedex. It still being on the DS when the 3DS had started to come out for Black 2 and White 2. There's like, Black and White are definitely beloved now, but at the time they were not. But then again, like, that's just the Pokemon cycle. Let's be real. There are people trying to be revisionist about X and Y, and people were awful about X and Y. There are people being revisionist about Oras, Sun and Moon, and even the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for the revisionists about Let's Go and Sword and Shield. I can't wait for that. Like, I'm seeing hints of it already. A lot of people just being like, man, the story was really good, and all anybody complained about was the tree. I'm just like, oh god, no. You're gonna have a hard time with Sword Shield. It's already starting. It's already starting. Like, I love Sword and Shield. They were fun. Hop is just a very fun character. I love him a lot. Leon was a lot of fun. Leon was like one of the hardest challenges I had you know, it is interesting. The last 3 games have been some of the hardest I've had with champion battles in a long time. Because my first battle with Kukui in Moon, he got a crit for the first 3 turns, and like one shot half of my team because of this. I was honestly fully believing, because of all the stuff with like the Z power, with like the totem aura, whatnot, and how like Mother Beast went on with all of her Pokemon having like the boosted stats. I was thinking, wait a second, Kukui's whole thing is that he is like the master of Pokemon moves. Is this champion battle's mechanic that Kukui will always hit a critical hit? That was not the case, but it definitely felt that way, and I lost half my team immediately because of that. Alternate Crossmo was like, it was not I had a Mimikyu, so like it was not the worst thing in the world, but it was not like easy. With Cynthia in Diamond BDSP. I mean, I haven't beaten that one, but yeah, Leon beat me my very first time in Shield. Partially because partially because I basically had no answer to a steel type, and definitely not to an Aegislash. Because my biggest answer to steel type was a double with double kick, which would not, cannot do anything to an Aegislash. So Leon beat me the first time. Even Gita beat me like 4 times because I was trying to like enforce set rules on myself. And like shockingly enough, her Glamora was able to like one-shot just about everything of mine. I'm just like, how? How is this thing doing that? Like, good on you, Gita, but wow. Oh yeah, people loved Rainbow Rocket, but okay, people like Rainbow Rocket, and they like the Ultra Necrozma battle. Most other things people do not enjoy in Ultra. Like, I would say like the changes in the totems, that's gonna be like your preference. Some people might like one of them, some people might like other. It's not gonna be a major thing. Most people do not like how they edited Lucamine's storyline, though I think it works. Like, it depends how you wanted to interpret Lucamine in Sun and Moon, and some people wanted her to only be evil and refuse to buy into the idea that, like, she's basically been slowly poisoned throughout all of her research by various Nihilego. And I liked how Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon changed it to where, because she made contact with the Ultra Recon Squad, she had proper protection against Ultra Beasts, so wasn't going insane because of that. I kind of like that. Still doesn't answer why she had a bunch of frozen Pokemon in her basement. That never got explained. Like, I can like that in terms of world building. I think most people like are kind of like on the Recon Squad in general, though, mostly because Ultra Megalopolis is nothing. The Warp Ride, I think people enjoy as a concept, but as the way to get legendary Pokemon in Shiny Hunt, people despise it. Most people don't like how they changed Lily's, like, storyline, and I will say, getting rid of the scene on Executor Island, that was weird. That was a weird decision. Why, that I will say was actively a bad decision to just remove Lily from there. I'm like, why? You're doing this just so we can battle an Executor? Really? That's so stupid. I like what they did with How a lot, though. That I loved. I loved what they were doing with How in the Ultra games. Like, having the scene with, like, the Kahuna on his way to the Laguna. And Ultra Beast shows up, but instead of the Kahuna protecting the island, he's just like, hey, grandson, you're powerful enough. You can do it now instead. And it's like, nah, wonderful, no notes. I think the Ultra games that have fine enough places in them. I don't think they would have worked. I don't think what they did, the differences they did in the Ultra games could have worked well as DLC. I think they could have reworked them to make them into a DLC, but also it would kind of be weird with integrating Necrozma in when they already have you catch Necrozma. Alright, I will read your message after I catch this fish. Fine, probably fine enough enjoying Sun and Moon through Scarlet and Violet, but so wore down over the continued drop in quality, just no interest in playing them. We've gotten that time period. Oh no, you're out of Spark! Oops. I was not paying attention. don't know. I'm not sure if I would say drop in quality. There, like, the quality is in different places, I would say. Like, sometimes they emphasize one feature more, and sometimes other things that, like, start lacking a little bit. Pokemon with stable frame rate. I mean, my experience is apparently very minimal with, when it comes to Scarlet and Violet. Like, Castaroya Lake is the only place that I see that I ever, like, remember any noticeable frame drops. But also, I'm gonna be honest, you could probably find so many times if anybody like rewatched the stream, you could probably find like 50 times where I will make a comment about that. I barely remember any of them. And I don't know. This is always the thing that really sticks out to me, is how much people care to remember frame rate drops. This is just a thing for me. Like, obviously, you can have complaints, whatever you want, go ahead, but everybody always talks about how bad frame rates are, and I'm just like, I might notice them in the instant that I am experiencing them, but why would you dedicate your brain space to remembering that past that instance? Like, that's just, to me, I'm like, I might notice it, and then 10 seconds later, I've already forgotten about it. It just is, that's just such a non-factor to me. It's like, people had like a similar complaint about like how in Bowser's Inside Story, the DS versus the 3DS version, how like the battles are like, how like the loading screen into the battles are longer in the 3DS version. And it's like, this is a difference of like 11 seconds. Why are you paying attention? Why do you care about a difference of 11 seconds? It's like, oh, but over the course of the entire game, it's so much more. I'm like, are you really comparing that? Are you playing the two games like side by side constantly? I don't know. That's always not tell the difference between 30 and 60. Oh, when it comes to frame rate, if I can notice a difference, I very rarely notice a difference. If I can, I will say 60 looks worse. That is how I am. If I notice a difference between 30 and 60, I will usually very consistently say that 60 is worse. I just don't like how it looks. Like, if I can't notice it, then whatever. But if I do notice it, I'm just like, 60, ugh. Try playing Legends puts me to sleep every time. It can be like, the music can be definitely sleepy. I love Legends. I think that Legends is definitely a game that showcases how different I am when it comes to collectathons than like everybody else. Because I will try and get things that seem like pretty obvious to get in collectathons. Like, I will go, like, if I see something, I'm just like, yeah, I can reasonably get there. I will go and get there reasonably. But if I see something, it's just like, it seems slightly too unreasonable to acquire, I'm like, I'll probably get something that'll make that easier later on, and then ignore it until I have basically beaten the game. And then I'm just like, all right, now that I have all these upgrades, let me go through and go get everything that I missed. Meanwhile, I'm hearing, like, Tom and Emil, where they're just like, Yeah, I got to star rank 9 in the Crimson Mirelands. I'm just like, why? That sounds awful. Why would you waste that much time doing that when you could just play the game, and eventually you're gonna get all the things that make all that other stuff easier. You're gonna get a bird later on. Why would you waste so much time just on the bear? That's when I enjoy real time speaking to someone who started playing RBY. Nice. Glad you enjoyed it. Like, you don't even have a fish yet in the Crimson Mirelands. Why would you waste so much time there? You could get a fish. Never 100% a game? No, I 100%ed Arceus. I just didn't do it, like, in the main... I just beat the game first. Like, I 100%ed it. Aside from, I guess, like, getting every single check mark in the Pokedex. It's like, God no, am I getting that? You're gonna have to pay me a lot of money to do that. I love 100%ing games. I made the numbers go burr in Xenoblade 3. Like, I can show you my main save file in Xenoblade 3, and they'll probably make your head spin. Just like, why did you do all of this? Like, because it was fun. Like, I got every class to rank 20 on every character. I'm probably clinically insane for trying to do that on Xenoblade 3. The only thing I think I got every blade to S rank in Xenoblade 2. I just didn't do S+. I just like Formula Man, don't need anything more from them. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, Pal World's aesthetic was... I do not care for how Pal World was really showing off, like... It felt like it was trying to be Pokemon, but grittier, which did not interest me, because I'm just like, well, if I wanted Pokemon, but grittier, I'd play Monster Hunter. I'd play like that, because that actually is much grittier. Like, Monster Hunter Rise or Monster Hunter Stories, like, that just is the exact kind of aesthetic you're looking for, but it's done better, and it's not, like, trying to be, like, an actual just rip-off. Like, I'm fine, like, monster collecting games have existed even before Pokemon, obviously. But Power World just felt, like, so disingenuously trying to rip off Pokemon, specifically. Whereas just like when they did Monster Hunter Stories, it didn't necessarily feel like they were... It felt like just like, hey, this is a... We're taking already established things in Monster Hunter, and now we're gonna add a creature catching mechanic to it. Get your monster besties, your monsties. I don't know, just like, that was always the thing that felt like not as, like, I liked some of the designs of the Pokemon for Pal World, but also, like, the advertising for it was so weird. It's just like, hey, here's how we're gonna show you how gritty we can be. We're gonna chop this pal in half and show you that you can eat it. It's like, who is this marketed towards? Are there that many Pokemon fans that are really that keen on eating Pokemon? Like, I know that was, like, the final... I know that was the joke of, like, the final, BDG, video. You're gonna have feeling more childish, but, like, what falls in that category? Conquer's changed from 12 Tails to Bat for a Day.
Like, obviously, I watched a couple of streams for Power World. Like, the gameplay seemed fine and seemed, like, interesting enough. Like, it's probably something I might have picked up for a little bit, like, if I wasn't... Like, there was also, like, the dubiousness of, like, okay, are you actually stealing the models? Are you using AI? I don't know for sure. I personally do not find enough vested interest from the gameplay, and especially not your advertisements, to where I will play it regardless of that fact, even if I think most of the things have been debunked. I think Power World is fine, even if it is, like, trying to evoke the feel of Pokemon. The designs are mostly unique enough. Like, there's only so many ways you can design, like, Fire Cat or, like Thunder Lion, whatever. Like, you can obviously, like, yes, it was trying to evoke Pokemon. It was definitely trying to evoke Pokemon, so some of the designs are going to feel like Pokemon. I don't think it was, like, there was definitely some question to it, but I would say that, like, I think they were actually trying to do things legit, even if it was just, like, or as legit as you can get with, like, trying to be inspired by another massive franchise, but try and go a weird, gritty route with it. That was more or less my thoughts on how Power World was. Like, it looked interesting enough. I watched a couple of streams with it, but the advertisements definitely would not sell me on the game. The advertisements just felt way too, like, proud of itself for being like, yeah, watch what you can't do this in Pokemon. You can't chop up this friend in order to make food out of it. Like, hey, but I don't want to do that. Like, I can laugh at some of the instances where it feels out of place that they're talking about eating Pokemon, like how Farfetch's entire thing is that, like, it's like close to extinction because people kept eating it, but that's just because it feels so out of place that you can only laugh at it. Find more subtle posting better than the look we got, guns, blood, and violence, so got a reason for the content. Feels like pandering. Yeah. Like, I love Bayonetta. That is 100% just pandering for blood, violence, and sex. But it's also leaning into it entirely. And also isn't trying to corner a market that was still based off of a children's game. Whatever you say about Power World, even if it's just like, yeah, this is what you graduate to when you find Pokemon is too much for kids. Like, still, you're trying to take, like, something that was originally children's media and just add, like, some gritty things to it to try and be like, yeah, now it's cool. And maybe that wasn't the actual message, but that's what the advertisements felt to me. That's a joke and everyone's got plated with boobs. I mean, Bayonetta does not have, like, that big of boobs. They're bigger than, like, Jean's or whatever, but I think most of the focus is on... Pretty sure most of the focus is on her butt. especially with like every design after the first one where they specifically remove the cleavage window. They make sure those pants are riding very high. Sonic, but he's edgy and has gun. Well, okay, I mean, okay. That was more so like, I mean, here's the thing. That is just a thing that Sonic fans have been clamoring for a while. That's why Gamma existed. Was just like, yeah, what if Sonic had a gun? And so they made Gamma. Just like, well, here's Sonic gameplay with shooting in it. And then just like, I don't know if we could really do a like dark storyline with Sonic. But you know who could probably fit with a dark storyline? Shadow. And they're 100% right. I would say, like, from what I've seen of Shadow, it's mostly fine tonally with how it's treating, like, you can laugh about the absurdity of Shadow holding a gun, but even then, it's like, the actual general, like, tone of the game is fine. It's just it has 50,000 other issues. And so, like, people will turn to joking about the guns because, like, you can't... Because it's either that or acknowledging the many other issues in that game. Like, did it specifically need... Like... I will say, like, I still need to play through Shadow Generations. I know that, like, as far as I'm aware, does not feature, like, actual guns, like, at all. At the very least, Shadow doesn't use them. The only real problem with Shadow is how many times you have to play it. Yeah. Like, I think that, like, I've only ever seen other people play it, and I would not say I was always, like, the best at keeping track of everything while people are playing it. I would say tonally, Shadow is pretty well adapted. Shadow the Hedgehog is pretty well adapted to including the guns in the slightly darker storyline than traditional Sonic. Not to say that Sonic doesn't have some dark storytelling themes at times, whereas in Sonic Forces, it was stupid as all hell. But in, like, Sonic Frontiers, where he's, like, having the corruption affect him, that's actually, like, really good storytelling. And it doesn't feel out of place. And I think that fits a little bit closer with how Shadow the Hedgehog was. It's just that because of all the other issues, people then turn to some of the absurdist stuff instead, because, yeah, it's acknowledging the other issues otherwise. But this is still coming as somebody who has never played Shadow the Hedgehog. I've only seen people, and I would not say that I was paying close attention to everything in it. And yeah, like, obviously, there's still, like, you're playing a game about an anthropomorphized hedgehog. Yes, it's gonna be stupid. There's gonna be stupidity in it. No, and you can. I think it's fine to tell deeper storylines with stuff like that. And there are definitely going to be some people who are never going to get past that and, like, can't reconcile how silly that is just as a concept to begin with, to then actually appreciate some of the deeper storytelling elements. Not that Sonic was the most deep storytelling-wise. But, like, I think that Shadow's, like, actual storyline is pretty well done in most things, like his actual storyline. The mediums and gameplay of how they tell it, that can leave some things to be desired. I think I've gone on record that Sonic Adventure 2 is one of, like, 4 or 5 games that I actively disliked playing. The whole thing about, like, cheering with Maria being shot, that's, like, it was funny as, like, a bit for a start, but considering the joke was mostly just, like, yeah, I mean, they're not gonna show Maria getting shot in a kid's movie, obviously. It's like, I mean, they're probably not, but they are going to still have her die. And they're going to probably going to imply that she was shot. But then people are going like, no, if they actually show her being shot, we're going to cheer because it means that they're taken seriously. And instead, it's now nobody taking it seriously. Adventure 1 and 2 have a lot of issues. Here's the thing, I loved Adventure 1. I had no problems with Adventure 1. Like, I'm sure there were glitches that I encountered, but they were either so minor or nonsense, or that I enjoyed them, or they were nothing. Adventure 2, I didn't like for a handful of reasons. I felt like the Tails and the Robotnik stages, the platforming was not well designed for how they moved. Keep in mind, I am playing this. My only experience is with the Steam version. So, I know a lot of people are just like, hey, yeah, that's not a good control scheme for that, so that's probably where a lot of your issues came in. And I can fully acknowledge that. Maybe I would enjoy it if I actually did if I, like, utilized a mod to fix the controls. I hated the character battles because, like, they were basically nothings. Oh, ads. I mean, if you sub, you don't. Should I put that into that? I'm gonna make the joke. I don't care. Hope you enjoyed your break. After I turn off Victory Road. Alright, so what were we discussing? Sonic Adventure 2, I think? Yeah, controls of the Tails and Robotnik stages, I think, like, did not lend themselves well to the actual, like, platforms that I needed to do. And I hated the character fighting stages. Like, I hated those character fights so much, so I ended a lot of characters with 0 lives, which meant in Last Story, I got 1 death with basically every character and had to reset everything, because your lives carry over from that, and if you get a game over, you have to restart the entire thing, whereas if you just, like, lose the lives with a character, you can reset from the checkpoints. But, like, say, like, the worst part is just, like, oh, it started getting into a loop, where I could get through as, like, Eggman and Tails, but I might have, like, 1 or 2 lives left. But then I got to, like, Rouge or Knuckles, lost all of my lives, and then I have to restart back from Eggman and Tails, and then I lose their lives, and have to restart again. It also didn't help that I didn't have the air necklace, which, like, God, the air necklace, awful. Awful. The air necklace was actually awful. Like, that is horrible. The way that is hidden, and that being a hidden thing, and then having Knuckles' entire thing be underwater in the last story, that was awful. I just looked up where to find the air necklace to fix that. I'm just like, nope, not doing that again. BioLizard was a fine enough fight. It wasn't, like, stellar, but it wasn't bad. And Final Hazard, I enjoyed it. And, like, I can, like, the Knuckles and Rouge stages were fine enough. Though I disliked how they changed them from Adventure 1, where it's just like, hey, yeah, the radar works for all the emeralds in Adventure 1, but now you have to get... Now the radar only works in order. They still exist, but they only work in order. Too bad. Get underwater stage. Yeah. No, the air necklace, I will say, was actually bad. An actual bad setup. This is one thing when the optional power-ups, like, just help things out a little bit. It's another thing where it feels, like, pretty required. Like, Amy getting a giant hammer because you decide to play whack-a-mole. That's fine. The giant hammer is not that helpful, but it is a bit helpful, but it's not, like, necessary. The air necklace felt pretty necessary. Still have no idea why they did that. I would not be shocked if it's just a score thing for, like, the team thing, for, like, the thing, but I don't understand why they had to do that for, like, the actual general playthrough instead of just, like, getting all the missions completed. Like, if that were a thing, if that were a setting that they made specifically for certain missions, I could understand that, and I would be fine with that. That would be, like, that's understandable. Being just the way it works in general compared to how it was in Adventure 1, it's so weird and stupid. I don't understand it. Because it really does just, like, drag those stages further than they needed to be. Because I enjoy flying around as Knuckles and Rouge. It's fun to do that. It's fun exploring in their areas. But the fact that I need to explore them in order to get everything, even if the hints were just, like, one at a time, even if the hints had to be in order, that would have been fine. The fact that the radar is also locked, that's where I'm just like, okay, you're losing me. Gamma's controls would be better. See, I don't care about... I think their controls were fine. It's that the stage layouts were not good. Like, that sand stage was awful. I hated that for both of them. When I saw I had to do it again as Eggman, I'm like, fuck. It was awful. Like, I was livid when I had to do that again as Eggman. But, like, the actual control-wise, they felt mostly fine. It's just that sometimes they just had more precision platforming on platforms that were smaller than I feel they should have been for how big and fast those mechs go. We're like fast compared to the fast compared to like the size of the platforms they're going on, because it's like 2 steps and then you fall off, even if their like general speed is not that good. But like you can't do a half step with those mechs. I'd be willing to give it another shot, but I'd probably find a mod for the Steam version to, like, be better. Because, like, Gamma never really had any platforming at all in any of his stages. Like, there was some mild platforming, but it wasn't anything major, and definitely nothing where it's just like, hey, go across this line of blocks that you almost completely cover just by standing on it. But you cannot just walk over it, you need to jump over every single one of them. There are control mods for SA2. I know that those exist. Nami was using one, I believe that's how they say their name. Small little, Puffin VTuber on, YouTube. Who recently resurged and may or may not sound like somebody else. They had some of those mods on that was causing some problems with their streams. Yeah, to the point where it's funny, one of the mods actually fixed, quote-unquote fixed the cutscenes so that they were timed properly. They're just like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. It's funny how, like, the overlapping dialogue in SA2 is to a degree more iconic and beloved than the actual, like, properly timed scenes. There are some people who just, like, don't like that they're mistimed in general, but there's another demographic of people who's just like, no, you will keep this, you will keep it like this. If you fix it, it's actually worse. I don't know which camp I'm in, honestly. You're not even good enough to be my... I'll make you eat those words! Man, what a fun array of topics we got today. The Game Awards, to financial stability, to the hilarity of Sonic Adventure 2. Palworld being, if Palworld has merit being just gritty, Pokemon but gritty. All the while fighting so many whales. finances. Yeah. I mean, it's a thing going on in my life. I am gonna talk about something. Occasionally I talk about serious things. I like being chill and comfy, but also... but also... And I'm also excited for the rest of this month and January to go with Jolly Jamboree and Winter Masquerade. Helping raise money for 2 cool charities. Let's check out Moss Deep to see if, like, the Whalmer here are a little bit higher level, and also how much experience the Sharpedo give us. Whirlpool is such a funny move about how weak it is in the general games, but when Dawn's Piplup learned Whirlpool, it was like one of its ace moves, because it was just like, hey, we're gonna throw a massive Whirlpool at the opponent. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's not at all how worthless it is in the game, but you know what? I'm fine with it being used in these cool ways. More whales! And a shark. Yeah, that's not too fun. Alright. It's not the end of the rough skin isn't the end of the world. It's a fire... Yeah, it is fire spin, but water. They can figure out how to balance them. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Magma Storm is actually like a good move. It is one of the reasons Heatran was so high tier. Is because it was able to, like, Fire and Steel was already a pretty alright type to begin with. But the fact that it could use Magma Storm to trap opponents and, like, the damage that Magma Storm did was actually respectable. Those were, like... It, like, made people rethink a lot of trapping moves like that. Like, obviously, Fire Spin and Whirlpool are not going to do it because they're too weak, but, like, Magma Storm definitely shows that they are usable. Just, like, they need an actual degree of power. Like, I think Sandtomb has had, like, niche sets before, but that's just because, like, it's learned by good enough ground types. Like, trapping is like a good thing to utilize in competitive play. It's just that most of the moves that do it are not strong enough to also justify that. Magma Storm is like the one exception. But like Shadow Tag, like Mega Gengar was a monster because it had Shadow Tag. Even though that was the generation that Shadow Tag became, that like Ghost types became immune to trapping moves and other things. This is a very late move for how weak it is. Yeah, they never did. Yeah, like Charizard still learns Fire Spin last out of everything. And can't wait till Gen 5 when we have Autono to fight. Granted, like, Blastoise still gets the best draw out of, like, final moves. Water still gets, like, the best draw of final moves to learn because Solar Beam has its whole charging thing. Most fire types don't learn Fire Blast leveling up, whereas Hydro Pump is, like, well regarded as one of the better moves in the game. Can't move for 3 to 5 turns. Yeah, that's why we had our. That's why Siegfried knew Rap, because I'm just like, yeah, nah, it'll be fun. That's why we kept Wrapped on our Dragonite. I'm just like, I'm playing Gen 1. I want to utilize the stupid things in Gen 1. That includes Rap. We're getting a Dragonite, and he's gonna learn Rap. I think I said during that, like, the way I'm interpreting this is, like, how Ash's Dragonite would give hugs to everything. That is what Siegfried was doing when he's using Rap. He's giving it a giant hug and crushing it to death. Use hug, I mean Rap. Yeah, basically. Yeah, I think they could have rebalanced Whirlpool and Fire Spin to be alright moves. Obviously, they don't need to be Magma Storm strength, but they could Sand Tomb and Wrap and whatever other moves like that. I think they could rework them to be usable. Like I said, they do not need to be Magma Storm's power. Like, how high powered is Magma Storm? I think it's like 80 power, maybe 70. It's one of the weaker, like, signature move powers, but it also has, like, the bonus of the trapping and the damage over time. Oh no, it is 100. Oh wow. Hold up. Oh, it had a 120 to start with? Oh god. Yeah, no wonder it was being used. That's as strong as Fire Blast is. Slightly weaker, I think it was. I think Fire Blast is slightly, is maybe 130. Cage. Yeah, that's Regieleki. That's 80 power. It's not bad. Regieleki has other problems, mainly in that it cannot fight. Mainly in that Regieleki cannot do anything to a ground type at all. God. Poor Regieleki. One of the fastest things in it, and it looks so interesting and cool, but man, it has, like, it is just hard-walled by, like, a single ground type. Learns, like, normal and flying moves, so yeah, a rock ground type. Right on the Regieleki counter. Infestation. I think Infestation was actually pretty well utilized for a couple things in competitive. Ah, darn it. Infestation, still only 20 power points. What learned Infestation that made it actually alright? Dragapult and a Araquanid. Okay, yeah, that's where it became alright. Dragapult and Araquanid are where Infestation became alright. Araquanid is such a hilarious Pokemon. Like, hey, what if we made a water bug type, but it still resisted fire attacks, and also it got even more stab from water moves. Also, hey, you remember that really bad move, Leech Life? Hey, now it has 80 power. Was that, like, there's no real good, physical water moves? Hey, how about this new move, Liquidation? I love Araquanid as, like, if they did not introduce, like, every single thing that they did in Sun and Moon for it, Araquanid wouldn't have no chance of being good. Especially not with its stats, like 70 attack and 50 special attack. It has alright defenses, but it has 42 speed. But because of Water Bubble, it's actually alright. And because of Water Bubble and the change to Leech Life, it became, like, halfway decent. Obviously, there were still, like, multiple things better than it. What did Araquanid actually get in Sun and Moon? It was RU in Sun and Moon. That's fair. Oh, it's NU and Scarlet and Violet? Man. It was like, I mean, it's still like pretty good in like single player stuff. I don't need every Pokemon to be viable in a competitive setup. Like, sometimes something is really good in a single player, and I'm fine with it being that. Oh yeah, I just got reminded. Pecora lost out for content creator at the Game Awards. I'm like, man, she should have won. We should have gotten another VTuber as a content creator winner. I will admit, I'm a little bit surprised that Mouse wasn't on there a second time. Especially after, like, the whole thing, especially after, like, breaking the Twitch sub record, even if that got beaten a little bit afterwards. I'm a little bit surprised she didn't get on there a second time, like, unless that is, like, outright a rule for content creator, for, like, the content creator reward. That would make sense, but... like, I would outright say that would make sense if that is a, like, ruling in there. But it's still shocking that if it's not a rule, I'm shocked that she wasn't on there again. Yeah, I will say, like, I will admit, Pecora is the only one that I knew from that list. But I also don't really watch Pecora that much. I think Corone was, like, one of the only, like, Hollow JP people that I watched, and even that was just, like, some Kirby things. Like, I'll watch clips of, various Hollow JP members, but, yeah, the actual... don't watch too much of their actual live streaming. Because I don't know Japanese. I already have too many people I watch streaming to begin with. In clips of Corone, Corone is funny. Ikam Bokam! Ikam Bokam! Ikam Bokam! It was not the first foray into VTubers that I saw. Like, I think I saw a couple of random things from Kizna, but I didn't really process what that really was. The first time I really knew about VTubers was the Let's Kill the Hoe clip. Water in the fire, why? Have confidence. No confidence. And I just like saw like I don't know who the first EN Hollow member I would have seen. I don't know who it would have been. Like hazarding a guess, it was probably Gura in some regard, but I don't know for sure. Like, that's just me saying a guess that is very likely. Now my go-to, but now I am also a VTuber, and also like one of my go-to songs to listen to right now is Carbonated Love. Watch before it was one. Oh yeah, I mean yes. If I'm counting that, Tom beats. If I'm counting that, John beats them all. Even if John isn't like using the Rosa model consistently. Alright, I think I'm going to save because I don't want to stay up too late, and I still want to send in the application today. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming. This was fun. God, I'm upset that I am upset about losing about all those deaths. Like, God, if I had known how big of a level gap, I would not have challenged them at all today. And yeah, that's like that was not the happiest thing for the mood, but it was still a fun stream. Portrait of Ruin, maybe tomorrow, we'll see. Probably. Yeah. You know how inconsistent I am. Let's find ourselves a raid target. BRB. Why are you blonde now? God, I haven't raided Josh in a while. Yeah, copy in the raid message, put any raid emotes you enjoy. We'll be starting up this raid in just a bit. Bye, y'all.